You know, if everybody would get rid of their grass, I wouldn't be having this problem. Just saying.
Dang it, I just planted some.
I'm not kidding. Grass is high right now.
Are you trying to,
Looks like it's trying to load.
getting into the YouTube?
What's that? What's that?
Which is going to be audio? All right. I think it's 6 o'clock. I don't have time.
6:01.
All right. If we can get a call to order and have a roll call to establish quorum, please, Madam Clerk.
Bob Thomas,
Here.
Melissa Green,
Here.
Harry Meyer,
Present.
Mickey Schneider,
Here.
Terry McClung,
I'm here.
Susan Harmon. Here. We have 6.
All right. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, liberty
And justice for all.
Get a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I have 2 items. Item
Would you
number,
like a second? I did.
oh. I have 2 items. Item number 1, under new business, discussion of the request to impose administration fee that shall be deferred till next week. I didn't have the ordinance in front of us here for this. And also want to add item number 6, which we just got in literally 30 minutes ago, a resolution for the use of masks in Eureka Springs. Is there anything else anybody has? You get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So
Make
moved.
motion.
Who was that by? Okay, Ms. Green made the motion to get a second.
Make motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
Mr. Myers, second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion to approve the minutes for June 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion, Mr. McClung, second, Mr. Meyer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the approval of the minutes for June 8th, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And get a motion to approve the special meeting for June 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Discussion? Any corrections? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Under commission terms, we have Ann Sally is being renewed for the Planning Commission. Ms. Green?
I'd like to make a motion to reinstate Ann Salee for position 1 on the Planning Commission.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And Mark Hicks is being renewed also for the Planning Commission. Ms. Green.
I'd like to make a motion to reinstate Mark Hicks for position 3 on the Planning Commission.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McClung, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Also, we have an application by Jean Reed. Yes, Ms. Snyder.
I make a motion that we accept the application for Jean Reed for the Hospital Commission.
Second.
Hey, Ms. Snyder made the motion, Ms. Green second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Also, in your application, you'll have an application from Bruce Wright for cemetery position. So that'll be coming up the next meeting. So, we have public comments. I think we had somebody wanted to have something read.
Yes, Mr. Burt.
And he is present.
He is. Mayor Barry, on behalf of the residents, both young and old, thank you for making East Mountain Drive a safer thoroughfare. Mayor Barry, all of us appreciate the speedy resolution of this issue. Thank you. Also, I'd like to thank Alderman Meyer for his current efforts in uniting our residents, and Alderman Thomas for his past attention and requesting a solution. In addition, Alderman Harmon and Schneider contributed during the June 8th meeting. Special attention to Chief Young, mention to Chief Young and Director Allen for their part in the solution. Leon Burton.
All right. Anything else?
We had no sign up. They want to know if they can speak.
We had, it's up to the council. We'd made council decided the last meeting, or the several meetings ago when we were in the courtroom, to have public comments written and read. It's up to the council how they want to proceed with that. I know that's on the agenda too. We have somebody here.
Yeah,
Okay. It's supposed to have been given to us by 4.
yeah.
Mr. Meyer?
Didn't we make we changed that the last special meeting, so I thought perhaps,
The special meeting is a different animal.
No. It's just,
It's something we probably should figure out before we close down tonight.
I
Yeah.
think it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Should I go ahead and get his and read it?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? I think that's the only one. So,
I'm happy to have Ms. Armstrong read that for us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, a letter from D. Rude. With the COVID-19 pandemic reaching new heights across Arkansas, especially northwest Arkansas and Carroll County, my question for the governor, state representative, mayor, and city council persons is, what is your number? At what point do you feel compelled to make face masks and face coverings mandatory in shared public spaces? How many of your fellow citizens, neighbors, friends, and family have to catch this terrible virus and possibly die as a result before you propose a mandate or at least support it? Let's take Carroll County, where as of today we have 136 cumulative cases and 4 deaths. We will probably have 200 cases by the end of the week and maybe 300 by July 4th and then 500 by Labor Day. At what number do you take action? And remember, no matter when you do take action, the cases won't stop growing for a month past that point. Merchants who don't require masks, what is your number before you require your customers to wear a mask to enter your store or place of business? Yes, I know that it is a touchy subject. You are afraid to lose a sale you desperately need after being shut down earlier this year. This mask requirement is a lot easier when everyone does it, or has to because it is law. But at what cumulative number of cases do you decide to require them or close your business because the chance of being exposed just is no longer worth it? What is the number your workers have in mind? Many will work past that point because they need to earn a living, they have rents to pay, kids to feed. What number do tourists have in mind, at which point they will choose not to come here? Many tourists already are avoiding places like us. At some point, the ones coming here won't want to come here anymore. A final thought, it's possible that when we reach the governor's number, or it is given to him by citizens, we could see another shutdown. Some businesses did not survive the last shutdown, and a lot more won't survive the next one. If this indeed happens, I am betting there may not be any bailouts. Maybe a one-time $1,200 big deal that does not go far, maybe a month. No extra unemployment from the feds, no PPP, no PUA, no SBA forgivable grants. We are largely going to be on our own. So everyone, what is your number? The only tool we have available to control this pandemic is the mask. Wear it, mandate it. It is in our hands now, completely up to us. We either wear the mask, or a lot more people get sick, and/or we shut down again. It's an easy choice if you think in those terms. D. Rude.
All right, anything else? That takes us to our unfinished business we've got unfinished business number 1, decision regarding the temporary entertainment district application. Motion to discuss.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
There was some confusion at the last time on my behalf that the application that I had denied was not the same application that came before the council. This time, there was another application with a smaller area for the smaller district, and also the application was going to provide one licensed police officer to patrol as part of security in here. I still denied the application last week, still based on the situation that, in my opinion, that it was going to take another patrolman at least. Instead of just one, we should have 2 for the district. And also that the fact that this was still going to have we've got a permanent petition against the existing permanent entertainment district. So I went ahead and denied this again, and that's kind of where we are. I have not received a appeal from Mr. Rogers at this point in time, so there's really nothing to be done until we hear an appeal, if he decides to appeal in the next week.
Okay.
If so, then it'll come back before the council. Yes, ma'am.
Couple of questions. I thought we were supposed to be seeing the original one you denied tonight? Isn't that what they brought it in for?
He was
appeal?
not appealing that. He submitted a brand-new application,
Right.
so he did not appeal that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's what that confusion was. The second question I have then is, since there is an order that there will be no events until September or further notice, when somebody comes in, why don't we just say, sorry?
I'm sorry, I don't know what your question
Okay,
is in
okay.
relationship to the entertainment
You said absolutely
district.
no events will be permitted until September or further notice. So if somebody comes in with something and wants it done in July or August, why aren't we just saying there's nothing's being permitted?
This is an application for an entertainment district that's being appealed or could be appealed to the city council.
But an entertainment district is supposed to be based on an event, I thought.
It's a
Or
separate issue.
tied in,
It's a
however
separate
you want to
issue.
put it.
It's an ordinance. So until
Resolution.
at this point, there's nothing for the city council to do. It has not been appealed yet.
Okay. It just seems a waste of time for everybody.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, that brings us to our second order of business, and that was the plan for dealing with the speeding on East Mountain that I was requested to have. If you've gone up East Mountain lately, I think you'll see that there's a 15-mile-an-hour zone from basically Water Street all the way up to the Highway 62. The speed bumps have been reinstalled. We were looking into, I think the suggestion at one point was putting up the radar speed, mobile speed acknowledgement device that we have. That mobile unit is inoperable at this point in time. We're seeing about getting it repaired. If we can't repair it locally, the option is to send it to Kentucky to get repaired. So we're waiting to see what the cost is for that. Yes, sir, Mr. Meyer.
Mr. Mayor, let me have a shot at it.
Well, right now, if we can't fix it, we'll let you look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so far, that's what we've done on East Mountain. Ms. Harmon?
Was that the plan, to put that up, just to monitor what the speeds were prior to the signage going up?
No, it's just put it up there anyway for people to see. And we're also having policemen up there monitoring speed limits. Now, I will say, and this is for the newspaper, I think we've been doing this for at least a week, and probably for another week, if you get stopped, you'll be given a warning ticket, because we don't want to act like a speed trap. After that, you will be cited. So be prepared for an expensive speeding ticket.
Please put your mask on.
I've got my mask over my face, so go ahead.
What is the, I'm sorry, Harry, did you?
No, go ahead.
No, it's you.
What is the speeding ticket fee?
To what?
Do you know what the fee is for the speeding ticket?
No, but the city does not receive the entire fee, by the way. We only receive a minimum, or maybe up to 50% of the fee.
Okay, I wasn't asking what our percentage.
I don't know
was.
what
I just
it is.
wondered what the
It
amount
depends
was.
on how fast you go over the speed.
Okay.
Ms.
My only suggestion is that maybe some flags put on the new speed limit signs so people will notice that the speed limit has changed. I know a lot of municipalities do that, just some little red flags hanging on the post.
Well, it won't take long for them to figure it out. Any other question, Mr. Thomas?
I would consider lowering the speed limit to 15, which you did, the city did, and reinstalling the speed bumps and putting up the signs warning of speed bumps was all part of the plan, and I just would appreciate all that you did within the last 2 weeks that you've already accomplished. It's not part of a plan, it's a fait accompli.
All right, thank you. Well, it didn't, I'm glad we got it done. Any other comments? All right. That brings us to item 2, a discussion of the Planning Commission workshop. And I think it's actually 2 separate things, or a Planning Commission workshop and then also a Parks workshop. So,
Motion to discuss?
Second.
all right. Ms. Green?
Okay. Well, a lot of people have asked, because we had these both on our radar before the COVID hit. One was for, basically with planning, it was going to be on the tree ordinance, and then with park, it was going to be on their finances and their quarterly reports. And I'm just curious, now that things are kind of changing for the better, if in the not-too-distant future, we can entertain maybe having those?
I will see what I can set up with both of those commissions to see what the status is. Madam Clerk, do you know anything about the tree ordinance?
Only that I hope that council reads it very, very
Is
carefully.
it completed?
they were each person was handed a folder with their name on it about perhaps 2 months ago or so.
All right. Let me talk with the Planning Commission and the Parks and see what we can do about setting up a joint workshop or separate workshops for both of those. Mr. Thomas?
I just, would you ask Parks about the response to the questions that we submitted, council submitted to them several months ago now?
I will ask them to look at that again and make sure that we get the answers back from them.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, that brings us to what we were talking about earlier, discussion of agenda setting process. Mr. Thomas and Mr. Meyer, motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss.
Second,
All right.
Is that
Mr.
mine
Thomas?
to go?
yeah.
I think probably everybody here was been involved, some of the newer people weren't, but the tradition when I came on council for getting something on the agenda during that 2-week break between meetings was, for instance, for me to go into the city clerk and say, I'd like to put this item on the agenda. And then I could go out and just spread seeds around the community that I told the city clerk I wanted this on the agenda, and I would hope that another council person would call in and do a second, and that would put it on the agenda. When the state got real strict about public meetings and things like that, and not violating public meeting laws, we discontinued that practice, and that left council members without the opportunity to put anything on the agenda that arose during the 2 weeks between meetings. I think we saw the effect of that when recently Mr. McClung had an item that he wanted to discuss, and he was not able to put it on the regular agenda. So, he brought it up during the meeting, and we ended up with a special meeting, which kind of went askew. So I would like to suggest a solution. Our agenda is not adopted until the meeting starts. We vote to adopt the agenda. So I would say that any council person could call in and ask the city clerk to add an item to the agenda, and then when we vote to approve the agenda, we could possibly vote to remove that item. The benefit of that would be the proposed agenda would be published in the newspaper, made public, so citizens would be aware of what might be discussed at the upcoming council meeting, although there's a chance that it would be removed from the agenda. But I would prefer to have something removed from the agenda rather than add it as a special agenda item and nobody knows about it. So my motion is to say that a council person can call in and have something added to the proposed agenda, and we could deal with it then at the meeting when we adopt the agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a question.
Madam Clerk?
The media gets the agenda Tuesday prior to a council meeting. Are you thinking that that would be the cutoff point, or the cutoff point would be the day of the meeting?
With my plan, it would be that Tuesday. We would still have a few days lag there when we couldn't add something, but, we would at least have the opportunity to add something up until that Tuesday.
So let me understand this correctly. What you're suggesting is one council member can add to the agenda that will be published.
Correct. But that item might be removed